Hey guys, welcome back to Buzzer2Buzzer. All right, guys. So the 8th week of the 2020 NFL season is among us, guys. And per the usual, we're going to be going over our top 5 key matchups for the week. So without any further ado, let's get towards predicting them. All right, guys. The first game which we're going to be predicting is going to be the one between the undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers against the Lamar Jackson-led Baltimore Ravens. Now, guys, the Ravens are the 4-point favorites to win this game. We obviously seen how the Steelers, how well they have been playing. Our thoughts and predictions for this game.
I'm going to start things off by picking the Ravens here. I think the Steelers, with a 27-24 win over the Titans, shows that they're one of the better teams in the league. But the Titans' offense is nowhere near comparable to what the Baltimore Ravens have. Yes, they had a bad game against the Chiefs, but looking past that, their offense has shined every single game. Not to mention that the Ravens' defense is far superior compared to the Titans. Carrying one of the best offenses and defenses in the league, I think it's going to be tough for the Steelers to beat this team.
Yeah, I'm also going to have to go with the Ravens here. In our power rankings, we did have the Steelers at 1, but I just think that this is a really hard matchup for the Steelers. Their offense is nowhere near as good as the Ravens, and they have inconsistencies, especially with Big Ben. But those games that they've won in the past, Big Ben has performed average, and in order to win against a team like the Ravens, Big Ben needs to have a spectacular performance. And if he does, I can see them winning, but I'm still gonna have to go with the Ravens here.
Yeah, I'm going to have to completely agree. Ravens are the more just superior team in general. They have better offense, better defense, and better special teams. I think this is going to, I think it's going to be a surprise, not blowout win, but it's going to be a big margin of victory for the Ravens. I think it's going to be probably around 10 points. But yeah, Ravens should take this one.
Exactly, guys. It's sort of tough to decide here. Both these teams, you got a heck of a defense in the Steelers. Definitely, I can see the Steelers stopping the run game of the Ravens. But I honestly feel like this is going to be Lamar Jackson's game where he's going to self-proclaim himself back into the conversation for MVP, possibly. I feel like that Lamar Jackson is going to be a centerpiece in this game. Also, the Ravens did make a trade last week for Yannick Ngakoue. I honestly feel like that, sure, the Steelers got the momentum, but the Ravens are here to steal that momentum, and they're going to be going 6-1. All right, guys. The next game which we're going to be predicting is going to be a divisional game involving the Seattle Seahawks against the San Francisco 49ers. Now, guys, despite the loss last week, the Seahawks are still the 3-point favorites to win this game. I'm going to get started off for the B. Your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, as they should be. I got the Seahawks in this one. The 49ers are a great team. The NFC West in general, every single team in that division is amazing. And I'm going to have to stick with the Seahawks on this one because the 49ers defense, it's surprisingly not as bad as I thought it would be with Nick Bosa out and many other players. But I just think that their defense is too much for for them to handle, with especially Russell Wilson. I think DK Metcalf's going to have a good game. Same thing with Tyler Lockett. And I want to see with the addition of Carlos Dunlap, how he does on the Seahawks with the defense. And if Jamal Adams comes back, how they're going to make the defense better and maybe stop the 49ers offense.
I'm going to have to disagree with you here, B. I'm going to go with the 49ers in this game. I think, the 49ers defense is a lot better than the Cardinal defense, and they gave them a run for their money. The 49ers offense is the point of question here. Can they step up to the occasion? We saw that last week. They absolutely destroyed the New England Patriots. And before that, they actually scored a lot of points against a Rams defense that's one of the better ones in the league. I think the Seattle's depleted defense makes it a lot easier for them to score. It's going to be a close battle, but I can see the 49ers winning here.
I think I'm going to go with the Seahawks here. I think Seahawks, Russell Wilson coming off a loss, 3 picks. I don't see him having another bad game. He's not that type of quarterback. He's obviously going to fix some stuff up. And I think this game, we actually see DK perform. I think Seahawks offense is going to be too much for the 49ers defense, and I think Seahawks will take this comfortably.
Exactly, guys. Last week, like me and I were mentioning, it was just an off game. Like every other team has, it was an off game for the Seahawks. And you best better believe, Harsh, that the Seahawks are about to bounce back this week so hard. And also got to consider the 49ers. They're missing out on Deebo Samuel. He's injured out right now. The Seahawks, I feel like Russell Wilson is not a person who's going to let one bad game affect him for the other games to come. I feel like not only him, but we're about to see some DK Metcalf action in play as well. And that's going to ultimately allow for this to be not only a great game, but one in which the Seahawks take the victory. All right, guys, now let's go towards our third key matchup, which we're predicting, that being between the Las Vegas Raiders against the Cleveland Browns. Now, guys, the Browns did suffer a major blowback on the wide receiver core, with Odell Beckham Jr. being out for what looks like a long period of time. The Raiders sitting at a 3-3 record. I'm going to get started with Arian. Are you going to buy in to the Browns hype once again?
I am going to buy the Browns hype this game. I'm going with Baker Mayfield to have another great game against this garbage Raiders defense. The Raiders have a terrible run defense too, and so Kareem Hunt's going to eat. I just think the Browns are better both on offense and defense than the Raiders, and they take this one.
I'm gonna have to go disagree with this and go with the Raiders on this one. You know, time and time again, the Raiders, they have insane potential. Some weeks they could play awful, some weeks they could beat the Kansas City Chiefs. So, with this game, especially with OBJ being out, I feel like Baker Mayfield's going to be inconsistent again. He's going to have an off game, throw a couple of interceptions. The Raiders' offense is going to get it going, and it doesn't matter if their defense is not good. I just think that the Raiders are going to edge out the Browns on this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Arian and disagree with the B. I think the Browns have been rolling as of recently, and the Raiders have shown their inconsistency throughout the season. And they had a bad game against the Buccaneers, which is kind of becoming a trend. I'm starting to believe that the win against the Chiefs was sort of a fluke. They got everything rolling and everything went right. I think we're starting to see this Vegas Raiders team come into full form, and I think they drop this one to the Cleveland Browns.
I have to go with a B. I think the Las Vegas Raiders can pull this one against the Browns. Last week's win, sure, it was against the Bengals, but you got to acknowledge that Baker Mayfield, the reason why he was shining so bright that game was because his first option was always there. The Bengals defense never took away that first option. The man he had, the man he threw to. This week, I feel like it's going to be a different story with the Raiders defense. And also, I feel like the run game is going to be something which can be used upon by the Raiders. Joshua Jacobs, Jared Carr, also a heck of a quarterback. I feel like with that strong O-line, that they're going to have some success and beat the Browns this game. All right, guys, now let's go towards our fourth key matchup, which we're predicting, that being between our hometown team, the Chicago Bears, who are sitting at a 5-2 record with a loss last week against the Rams, against the New Orleans Saints. Now, guys, this next 3-game stretch is a considerably hard one for the Bears, and this week is going to start that 3-week stretch against the Saints. Our thoughts on this game?
I'm going to get started here, and I don't think there's a question in this matchup. I think it's one-sided completely. That being said, I'm going to have to go with the Saints. The Bears' offense is absolutely horrendous, pathetic. I mean, maybe even the bottom 3 in this league. And, especially if they don't have Allen Robinson, they don't even have an offense. I don't even think, the Jets are better of an offense than them at that point. So that's a big hit if they don't got Allen Robinson. And even without, let's say Michael Thomas doesn't play this game again, I still think the Saints could beat them. They have a better offense. Their defense is still a pretty good defense, and they definitely can stop the Bears' offense. And yeah, I'm definitely going to go with the Saints on this one.
I would have to fully agree with B on this one. Without Allen Robinson, the Bears' offense is pretty much non-existent. The Bears don't have that good of an O-line, and the Saints have a good pass rush. Saints have a very good defense, and especially if they have Michael Thomas back, I think it's over. It's going to be a blowout win for the Saints.
Moving into this matchup, obviously it's a critical week for the Bears. Their season is essentially sort of on the line here. The whole season has been a debate: are they pretenders or contenders? And last week they showed against the Rams that they're pretenders, and the weeks before they showed that they're contenders. So I think this is a really critical game. Nick Foles and Matt Nagy going into the game are going to construct a important game plan. Now the key question here is, can they execute against a Saints defense that allows some of the most run yards per game? I think they'll coordinate a game plan towards getting David Montgomery the ball more and using the wide receivers efficiently. I think Michael Thomas is going to be absent this game, and I'm going to pick the Bears.
100% agree. I can't believe that our Bears fan, Arian, is going against the Saints. So for sure, got to acknowledge the stats. The Saints got an amazing pass rush with Cameron Jordan, Marcus Davenport. They got some good boys up there. But the main thing is that pass rush can't do anything this week, because I strongly believe, like Harsh mentioned, Nick Foles and Matt Nagy are coming out. Hopefully they got some coordination and not about to call some deep plays again, which don't give Nick Foles enough time in the pocket. I strongly believe that this game is going to be the game which defines the Bears and gives them that momentum to not only have success throughout the regular season, but also it's going to fuel them and allow them to make the postseason as well. Also, Allen Robinson, although questionable, Michael Thomas is also out. I feel like that despite Allen Robinson, the potential loss, I strongly believe that Nick Foles is going to come out ready with his game face on. All right, guys, and now let's go towards our fifth and final key matchup, which we are predicting this week. That being between the Indianapolis Colts, who are sitting at a 4-2 record, against the Detroit Lions, who are currently 3-3. Guys, we got Matthew Stafford against a Philip Rivers-led team. Our thoughts on this game? All right, I'm going to start off here, guys, and say that I got the Indianapolis Colts winning. Sure, that's a better record, but honestly got to analyze that. I strongly believe Philip Rivers can get his mid-range game working again this game. I believe that the rookie wide receiver Michael Pittman Jr. is going to be out for this game. But regardless, I still feel like that it's going to be a close game. But I feel like the Colts piece switch to have right now are going to allow them to win this game.
I think this is my upset of the week here. I think we saw last week, a Lions team is definitely potent with Matthew Stafford healthy at quarterback. They have a great, Kenny Galladay's back now, so I think the Lions are going to play really well on offense. I think it's going to be a really good game, but I think the Lions finish on top.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with Arden on this one. The Lions record, I feel like they should be 4-2 right now with that opener to the Bears. I mean, they should have won that game, to be honest, with DeAndre Swift's hands. And they are an underrated team. Matthew Stafford, I believe, is the most underrated player in this league. And he's been a top 10 QB every single year. And if you disagree with that, then I just think that you're biased towards the Lions. And Kenny Galladay, a great receiver, an underrated receiver. It seems like every player on that team is underrated. So the Colts have a decent defense. I feel like they kind of fell off for a bit. But the Lions' offense is going strong right now. They score a lot of points usually. And as we've known, Matthew Stafford is amazing in clutch times. So if it gets down to that, I think the Lions will take it either way.
I disagree with you saying Matthew Stafford is the most underrated player in this league. I think Kenny Galladay is the most underrated player of this team. And I think you can go either way with that statement. I think this Lions team has been criminally underrated all year. They've had one bad game against the Packers. Week 1 against the Bears, it was, like Obi said, it was on DeAndre Swift. Week 3, they kept it very close to a really good Saints team. Weeks 4, 5, and 6, obviously, they came through with victories and a bye and 7. But moving forward, I think they take this Colts team to town. This Colts team hasn't been impressive as of late. They've been giving up a lot of points to the Browns. And I don't know if they have it together with Philip Rivers running that offense. He might be holding this team back from its full potential. And I think going forward, this is going to be a sign showing that the Lions are going to beat the Colts.
All right, guys, boys, it's going to be a great 8th week of the 2020 NFL season. We got some great matchups. As always, guys, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and, guys, comment down below your predictions for these 5 games. Love talking to you guys. As always, guys, take care. We'll catch you guys on the next one. See you guys.